And welcome to another edition of Big Apple Hockey. I am your host for tonight, John Fulkowski, and I will put that up as usual, the little nameplate there. As you can see, my Twitter handle on there. Again, follow me on Twitter. I do nothing but rant about the Rangers on Twitter for the most part. I'll talk about some wrestling, some other things. But at 92 and 82 is my Twitter handle, so definitely follow me on there. Someone is a little late. Yes, David. Sorry, but I was setting things up for this and trying to get some updates on Igor Shesterkin while we're at it. But you know what time it is. You know what we're here to do. I'll play the video. It's that time again. My post-game wrap-up, my good, bad, and ugly. And yes, the Rangers do win, Sean. A little bit of an anxiety-filled night for us Ranger fans, but they come out on top. They do it again. So a 1-0 win. Nice shutout against the Sharks, who actually played a very good game themselves. They were really good defensively, and they limited the Rangers. So if you look into the game itself, there were quite a few good things. Nothing bad about this game for the Rangers, but I really loved what I saw from the team. And to start with everything, my first point is the early adjustment from Gallant gets the Rangers back into the game. And what I mean by that is that for the first 3 to 4 minutes of the game, San Jose had it. K'Andre Miller and Jacob Trouba turned the puck over early on in their first shift, and that led to about 3 to 4 minutes of sustained pressure for San Jose, and that was the bad part there, or one of the two bad parts, I should say. The other one, obviously, we'll talk about that later on. But San Jose had it early, but Gallant, got the message across to the defense that they got to move the puck quicker, and they started moving the puck quicker, and that's when the Rangers took over the game or started to take over and get back into it. They got the power play, and they scored the goal. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But Gallant just keeps pushing the right buttons at the right times. And again, I'm going to say it. This is what a Jack Adams level coach does for your team. This is exactly what it does. He knows what to do, what to say, and at the right times too. And you guys are right about this. Nemeth wasn't too good in the first 5 minutes or so, but I thought he played a little better after that. We're all hoping this too, Dave. We're all hoping that. So, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit. But the first I would say 3 to 4 minutes was all San Jose, and then the Rangers picked it up, and that's when they took over the game, and that leads into this part because the comeback of the Rangers and their picked up play led to them getting a power play, and the power play, the first unit comes on. And it gets a goal. They move the puck very well, and then Ryan Strome absolutely blistered one past Adin Hill, who was absolutely phenomenal. As I believe it was Chris G. I think you said it before. You said it. Oh no, David Wood. You said Hill was a beast tonight. Yeah. So, but that power play unit looked good, and they had two other looks where they were really good, where I thought that they were going to score, especially later on in the third, that last power play. I thought they were going to score there. That net was open, and Brent Burns got a piece of that pass. Oh, my God. But, and hey, welcome, Floor Ritual. I don't think any of us have seen you here before. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome to the show. We do weekly videos too, usually Wednesday, but this week we will actually be doing Thursday since I will I will be at AEW on Wednesday. So it'll be my first time in the new UBS arena. So I'll be there for the AEW show. And Mark actually has a commitment of his own. So we're going to be doing this week's show on Thursday. But welcome to the show. So I'm going to move on to the next point that I have here. And this is the best defensive effort all year. They just played great defense. Up and down the lineup. I don't think any of the guys were really bad. Trouba and Kreider had a couple of shifts where they were so. Nemeth had a little bit of a rough start, but the entire team really didn't look too good in those first 3 to 4 minutes, I would say. But they played such great defense, and even when Igor went down, their defense picked up, and they dominated the rest of that game for the most part. So this was a really strong defensive effort. I know I said previously that the second Toronto game, I thought was their best defensive effort, especially against a tough team like Toronto. But San Jose, even despite playing a tough game against the Islanders last night, they looked just as good last night. And if it wasn't for the fact that the Rangers had came out and scored early and got the goal, maybe San Jose could have came out with another 2 points against a New York team. So. But, I thought this effort was great defensively. I thought everybody contributed. The third line played probably their best defensive game all year. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But everybody up and down played great. And Chris G, we're going to talk about that in a little bit too. So, but, moving on to the next point that I have is if you're not seeing this, I don't know what you're watching, but Kakko is here. He's here. I'm a believer. He looked so great tonight. He could have had, I would say, 2-3 points tonight, and he was just incredible. He made 3 to 4 really good defensive plays, including a play on Erik Karlsson later on in the third period with maybe about 2 minutes left to help keep the puck in San Jose's zone and help wear out the clock. I mean, oh man, his game was great tonight. He's got to be, he is this close to really, really just breaking out and being that key contributor, that core player that he was supposed to be when he was taken second overall in 2019. There's so much good for what he's doing. And I'm with you on this, John. The way he's playing this year defensively, he even looks better than last year defensively. We are watching it right now. You're right, Daniel. We are watching the birth of a breakout. We really are, and it's really great to watch. I love this, and we're getting Floritual here, the new guy coming in with the nice comment right there about the upcoming Selke player. Yeah, and David, you're right. He's playing with a lot more confidence. But yeah, you know what? Sometimes the points aren't always there. And especially in a game like this, though, David, San Jose didn't give them much. They really didn't. And they didn't get behind San Jose. They got ahead, and then they just absolutely suffocated them the way that San Jose wanted to suffocate the Rangers and then suffocated the Islanders last night. So you know what? Good on Kakko. This was one of the best games I think I've ever seen him play. And yeah, Chris, he did strong on his stick and definitely stole the puck a few times, like I just said before. That steal on Erik Karlsson late in the game. He had a couple of others to help keep offensive zone possession there. Daniel, that pass was ridiculous. Oh my God, Kreider should have buried that, but Hill made an amazing save there. You got to give Hill credit. He was great all night, and that was one of his best saves, if not his best. So. I just, you know what? I have nothing but great things to say about Kakko's game. I know I'm gushing over here. I get it. I look like a fanboy right now, but you know what? He's giving me every reason to look like one. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the fanboy. I'm gonna say it. He's been great, and you're right. He's not deferring. He made a play in the second period where he came off the far side boards on their left side and came around and pivoted and made a move to get back to the middle and fire a shot. And that move was just incredible. He looked like Yager doing it. I mean, yeah, we'll talk a little more about Lafreniere in a bit, Chris. But I thought he played. I thought he played okay. Could he have been better? Sure, but I thought he still played a good game. And moving on to the next point, first line, another strong game. Again, kind of sort of ties in with Kakko, and he was a big part of that. But I thought all three of the forwards played real good defensively. They were in on the forecheck. They were making chances happen. And if it wasn't for the fact that Hill was as strong as he was, they probably would have had 2 to 3 goals that line. Easy. Easy. I can't say enough good things about Mika's two-way play in this game. He played really good. There was a couple of times where he struggled to get the puck out of the zone when it was in the Ranger zone. But you know what? Overall, his game was really good. Chris Kreider looked really good. Chris Kreider could have had 2 goals himself, including the Kakko pass. He had a wide open chance in front that I thought he was going to get. Didn't get that. Hill made a save on that one on a power play. And then, you know what? This line looks good. Kakko. I know I'm going to go back here a second. But Kakko has now fit in incredibly well on 2 different lines. And you're right, Daniel. Zibanejad is not playing his best hockey. He's not. But he's going to, and that line's going to be really scary when that happens. So if Kakko stays there, because Kakko has played great with not only that line, but Strome and Panarin's line as well. And Dryden Hunt has looked really good with that line as well. So, I mean, just a lot of good things going right now for the Rangers. The third line, absolutely buzzing all night. I think they played their best defensive game of the year in this game. I thought their attention to detail was really good defensively. They were hard on the back check. Alexis Lafreniere was good on the back check. He made a couple of good moves in the second period to keep the play down low in the offensive zone. And you know what? I know he turned the puck over a couple of times, but I thought he started to show some confidence. I want him to be a little quicker on his feet, though. I will say that, Chris. I think you're right that he needs to, be a little better and get the puck deep a little more. But you know what? I gotta say that Lafreniere, I think, played a pretty good game. Gauthier, I thought, was really good. I thought he was really good. I thought Chytil was the best player on that line. Chytil looked great. He looked like he was shot out of a cannon. So, my grandma will look good with Panarin and Strome. You know what? It's funny you say that, but sometimes it's not always the case. Remember, Wayne Gretzky and Brett Hull didn't work. So, and Florichel, you're right about this. I mean, sometimes you draft these players and it takes a little bit for them to develop. And that's what we're seeing with Kakko. But I'm going to get back to my next point here. Fourth line, it seems to be a constant. It seems like every single time I'm doing one of these, I'm talking about the fourth line. Because every game they come out, they play heavy and hard. They're productive. They're I would disagree with this. I think Adam Oates would like to say hi. Yeah, there you go, David. There you go. But I love what the fourth line has been doing every game, and it Barclay Goodrow fits in like a glove with Kevin Rooney and Ryan Reeves. Ryan Reeves has just been so good all year. I mean, I would love to see if there's people hating on him right now. And no worries, Mark. You are good. Don't worry about anything. So Mark wanted to just put in a couple things about the Igor Shesterkin the injury. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But Gauthier, yes, Chris, I do agree with that. Gauthier will eventually break out, driving and keeping his feet moving the way he does. He's going to maybe he's not a 30-goal scorer or something like that. But if you get a 15 to 20 goal guy out of a Julien Gauthier that's a depth scorer like that, that's a find, especially for somebody like Joey Keane. Just remember that. So, but the fourth line, again, I can't say enough about them. It seems like I'm saying the same things about them every game, but I basically am, because of the fact that they just go out there and give you that every game. You know what you're getting from them. And it's great to see, because you need that from your fourth line. The Rangers have lacked a real bottom six these last few years. And now that they have a bottom six, they're winning games because Gerard Gallant can now roll all four lines, and he can roll them late in the game. And another thing to add about Kakko real quick, he was out there late in that game defensively. So that just goes to show you what faith Gerard Gallant has in Kaapo Kakko. And again, he has faith in all four lines. All four lines. I mean, even the fourth line was playing late there. Rooney had a great shift there to keep the puck down low and take off time off the clock on San Jose late. It's more than a punishment. Exactly. This is a great point, David. David, not Quinn, should I call you? Because that's not something Quinn would think about. He wouldn't think that way. So, but I'm going to go on to the next point I have. I only have a few more left because there just wasn't a whole lot in this game. It can be summed up pretty easily. Kind of a little bit of a boring game, but, still a big win. Great response to the Igor injury. They dominated the game afterwards. And you could just see the effort level. And what's going on, Brody? And yes, you're right, John. Absolutely feels that way. And you know what? This is a great comparison. If Julian Gauthier ends up being like this team's Benoit Pouliot, I'm taking that and I'm running. I am laughing to the bank. And yeah, Dave, it was exciting for a 1-0 game, but you know what? Overall, in terms of like breaking things down, it was just a lot of back and forth through the neutral zone. The game was really played tight, so there wasn't a whole lot to really go into great detail about, is what I'm trying to say. Probably should have worded that a little better. But, they played great after the Igor injury. I thought they took over the game. They were really, really good defensively all game, but I think they were even better after the injury, and they knew they wanted to be sharp for Georgiev, which was good. And they just absolutely took over the vast majority of that game, especially when when they shouldn't have had the puck later on in the game. They just wore out San Jose in their own zone, and they didn't let San Jose get out of their own zone. And that was great. I thought that was just an incredible effort from them. From that point on, that third period was one of the best third periods of hockey they've played all year. One of the best periods, I should say, not even best third periods, but best periods in general that they've played all year. They just absolutely locked it down. And I really think you're seeing a team that's buying into a Jack Adams level coach right now. Just it's working. But they were playing great because this man, Alexander Georgiev, came in relief of Igor Shesterkin due to that looks like groin injury. Made 9 saves, including some big ones, and especially some big ones on the penalty kill. I mean, he made a couple of big ones there. He had a point blank one on LeBlanc rather. So yeah, they looked good. And Georgiev, although he wasn't overly tested, he was really good when he needed to be. He made a few big saves to make that 1-0 lead stick. And you know what? It was good to get Georgiev. I mean, he's not going to get a win for it, but it's still to have him come in and hold that lead and save that game. That's got to be a big booster for Georgiev. He's got to feel good about himself, especially with the way that he's looked lately. He's looked kind of downtrodden. And Sean, you're right about this. You don't see that shutdown third under Quinn last year or the years before. You just don't see it. You just don't see it. So, yeah, and Brody, gutsy win is right. A gutsy win is right. Daniel, I agree. Hopefully, this is a turning point for Georgiev. If he can step it up, then he, it does a world of good for this team. So, and Lucas, I agree with you here, man. He looked good there to close out that game. He got some shots on, and he looked good. So it definitely sounds a lot better going into tomorrow night's game. Islanders did not play tonight, Dave. They did not. So, you know what, Florial, this does not sound crazy, and that's we're gonna tie into my final point here, which is actually the Igor injury itself. Gallant says Igor is okay, rather. Let's hope that there's no lingering issues. Let's hope that there's no lasting effects on him. Let's hope that whatever the injury is, he's going to be all right. This is the tweet from the team. Coach Gallant on Igor Shesterkin. Minor lower body. Wow, I can't speak tonight. Not as bad as it looked. That was at 9:36. So that was right after the game. Gallant says he's all right. I mean, if it was serious, I don't think he'd be saying that. And that is, that is good to hear. I know that some people are going to, not be kind of skeptical of it. But yeah, it just, wow. So, and Mike, this is actually a great point. He needed to kind of change his headspace and get some confidence. Yeah. And the positivity exists if Shefsky isn't injured too bad. I don't know about that. I mean, if Georgiev played well when he was tested. So I'd have to think that could carry over into the next game. They just got to come up big for everybody. Hey, Leo, what's going on, man? Valket said in the show post game. I heard that. I was still listening to the post game when he when the game first went off, and that Valket said that right afterwards. So yeah, I would agree. Lucas would feel that tweet, they wouldn't tweet that if there was much of a chance it was bad. Yeah, no, I don't think they would have tweeted it. I don't think they would have tweeted it. I really do, because I get it. Yeah. And I know people are going to look nervous. You know what? You obviously when your goalie goes down like that, you're going to look nervous, but if that's not as bad as you think, they're not saying that. I can't imagine that. They would probably, if it was bad, they probably would have just said, we're going to have to wait to see the results. They would have said something like that. And that to me would give me a lot more anxiety right now. Like, I mean, I'm not as worried. There's definitely still an anxiety level, and my chest's a little tight right now still, but you know what? I feel a little better after seeing that tweet. Maybe they're doing that to calm the fans. I doubt they would do that, but you never know. And David, it's funny you say this, because I showed Anthony your comment right before I went on. He was like, wow, I can't believe that. What a coincidence. So, because he said that, he literally said that in our group text. He was like, you know what? I'm going to get blamed by all of our viewers now for the Igor injury. So, I'm just obviously going into the Q&A right now. We're done with all the points, but go with Leo here. Start with Georgiev tomorrow. Yeah, I think Georgiev was going to play tomorrow either way, but if he can get a win tomorrow, that would be big. I'm going to the game tomorrow, so I hope to God we get a win tomorrow. Yeah, they would have either said the usual lower body out indefinitely. You're right, Lucas. Yeah. I want to see the team cover. Yeah, me too, Dave. Me too. China? China. Oh, Chicago. I was like, what? I was like, what is China? Markov is China? Yeah, usually if an injury isn't bad, you're not hearing anything. Ginger ale, yeah, probably. I do like ginger ale. Haven't drank much of it in a while. That's kind of why I lost the weight that I've lost. But Lucas, thoughts about Zibanejad season so far? I don't think he's played his best hockey, and I think he's going to play his best hockey sooner than later. And once he breaks out, forget about it. He's one of those guys where when he breaks out, the floodgates open, and he just starts scoring at will. He will. I would highly disagree with this, Leo. Highly disagree with this. So I thought his all-around game was great. He would have had a point if Kreider finished that play that he made, and he made several great defensive plays. I could think of at least 5 defensive plays, and he looked real good offensively too. He created quite a few chances in the offensive zone. I know that people are going to say, all right, because he didn't get the point. But if you're watching closely, then you know for a fact that he was very good creating chances offensively as well. And yeah, very, very solid. I agree. Tomas and Lucas. Kakko was great defensively. One of his best defensive games of his career. Chris G, I wouldn't say this because they've played a lot better since the firing. So, and why does Draisaitl not get the same love like McDavid or Matthews? I think Draisaitl's going to start to get the same love. People think of him as Connor's sidekick. That's part of the reason why Floritual. They think of him as a sidekick, but Draisaitl he's damn good. He's damn good. I'd love to have him. Are we calling up a backup in case Igor misses more than a couple games? I would say probably Kincaid. Do you think you could see Kincaid? I wonder if he actually ends up playing, but yeah. And especially in the third period, Kakko, yeah, he was. He was great. Lucas, he's been making moves and assertive and holding on the puck. I would agree with that, Lucas. I think he needs to be a bit more decisive, and I think he needs to shoot more. I think he could play with a little more conviction with the puck on his stick. But you could definitely see that the confidence is coming back. So Chicago 7-3 in the last 10. Yeah, exactly, Sean. And yep, Leo, definitely. And Sean, I'm with this one too. Yeah, he may be a sidekick, but Scotty, yeah. I'm not sure of what this means. I don't know. What kind of sidekick outscores a superhero? Well, I mean, he's done that in one season so far, and McDavid missed games. So Kincaid's in protocol. Ooh, if Kincaid's in protocol, then maybe do we see Huska? Leo, thoughts on Nemeth's game? Thought the first, I would say 3 to 5 minutes, he was rough. I think he improved after that. I thought him and Nils were okay. Nemeth made, I think Nils was good, decent. But Nemeth was okay. I mean, he was, I don't know. I thought that he made the play where Gregor, I think, got behind him and he shoved him into Igor, and he got the penalty, which actually led to the power play goal. But he's still got to be a little better than that. So okay, but you know what? If he plays like this going forward, I could tolerate him. Yeah, sorry. Somehow my thing started clicking, but yeah, Hartford situation is an interesting one. If Kincaid's in protocol, that could complicate things. Nightwing was better than Batman. Nope, disagree. I thought Key made some pretty bad errors tonight. He made 1 or 2, but I wouldn't say that he was bad tonight. I thought he was okay. He's had some better games recently than tonight, and that's kind of tying into this comment right here. Not his best game, but not a bad game by any stretch. I think that him and Trouba had a couple of bad shifts early on. That first shift from them was really what gave San Jose their early momentum. But you know what? I thought he was all right. I didn't think he looked. He had a couple of plays in the second period where he was all like a little, but you know what? And key is Keandre. So, but I don't think that he I don't think it looked too bad. Is Igor's growing going to be an ongoing problem? That's what we were talking about before, Michael. We're hoping that it's not. We really don't know as of yet. So, and Sean, yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous. I didn't know how they'd react with Georgiev, but damn, they played real good in front of him, and he made a real good few saves, especially a couple on that penalty kill there. So that was big. So let's see here. This is becoming a comic stream. Yeah, I like the comics talk. I mean, I'm an anime guy too. I'm a huge Dragon Ball guy. Gundam Wing, Neon Genesis Evangelion was my jam growing up. So Ronin Warriors, stuff like that. Dan, yeah, we were all nervous. Oh yeah. So, but what is my biggest, most consistent problem that I'm seeing with the Miller Trouba pair? Oh, the biggest problem I see is that sometimes against faster forwards, and they had a little trouble with it tonight, a little trouble with it too against Boston, but they tend to get a little overwhelmed with speed because they are not great transitional skaters. They're good straight line skaters, but their transitional skating is really not great. And when you have a team like San Jose, Boston, or the Islanders that can really move well in transition, that gives them problems. So then they start coughing up the puck, and then they start making those dumb plays. Miller often gets caught out of position. That's another thing. Like the second Boston goal on the Black Friday game was Miller getting caught out of position, and then the Philadelphia goal in last game against Philly, he was caught out of position chasing a guy up top. So he's got to stop doing that. Floritual, no, I don't see that anytime soon, but I think Zach Jones would probably be the first one to be called up if they did. Lucas, you might have a point here, buddy. We might have to talk to Mark about that. No, David, no way. No way. Ric Flair was the man. No way. Oh, my God. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And Arn Anderson, as great as he was, I say Arn Anderson is probably the most, if it's not Barry Windham, Arn Anderson is the most underrated wrestler of all time. But, yeah. Ric Flair is the greatest. The greatest I've seen. He could work a match with a broomstick. And yeah, Mike, I agree with you here, buddy. The final five of every game should be like that. Owen better than Brett is actually, I'll entertain that because there are times where I think it too, David. There really are. Owen was incredible, man. He could work with anybody. His stuff in New Japan was incredible. His work in WCW for that short time he was in WCW was incredible. Yes, faster forwards get behind them and they make some pretty egregious errors. Yeah, that I would agree. That is basically a transitional skating, meaning going from offense to defense. Moving from being on their toes to skating on their heels, skating backwards, so on. Miller just makes some possession mistakes with the other team having the puck. Yes. So. Ric Flair was the John Cena of the Senate. No, he was not. Stop. Tommy Wildfire Rich was one of the greatest ones that never was. He had that early championship run in 81 when he won the championship, the NWA title from Harley Race. And he just a combination of his party habits, attitude, and a couple of other things just kept him from being a champion. He wasn't a great talker either, though. So, John, definitely agree with this on Tully Blanchard. Tully Blanchard's great. Tully Blanchard had everything. And David, yeah, I would have liked to have seen Owen follow him. I think Owen, if Owen would have went to WCW, the matches that he would have had with that cruiserweight division, if you would have put him with the cruiserweights, would have been off the damn charts. Him, Psychosis, La Parka, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero. Oh, my God. The matches he could have had with those guys would have been awesome. Oh, they would have been to die for. All right, I'm going to cut myself off there because I just realized what I was saying. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to apologize because that was not the right comment to make. Bad taste. Yeah, so those matches would have been incredible. But I definitely would have loved to seen Owen in WCW. If you ever watched his New Japan stuff, phenomenal. Him against like Dynamite Kid, Wild Pegasus, Chris Benoit. I know many don't like to speak that name, but his work in New Japan in the early 90s was just unreal. So, Lucas, I got to agree with you on this. I think it's too late to kind of pull out on the Olympics. We were talking about this the other day in our weekly show, and I really do think it's too late for that. But NHL stream to wrestling. Yeah, you know what, Leo? You know what? If you guys are doing Q&A, you guys are doing comments, I'm going with what's in the comments. You know, if we got a discussion going, we got a good one going, I'll talk a little wrestling here. I mean, we got through the points. We got through the bullet points that I usually do. That's kind of how these videos have been going. I do my bullet points. I bring in your comments on the bullet points when they're applicable. Yeah, I mean, to hockey, to comics, to wrestling, you guys. I mean, I'm just doing Q&A here. So you guys are doing you guys are going with wrestling and comics and music and all this other stuff. I'm all cool with that. That's all right up my alley. Bring that stuff. So yeah, and no politics. That's going to be one rule here. No politics here, guys. Sorry, but it's not happening. So any type of political stuff, nope. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you start to get political and you don't stop after you're warned, you will get blocked and banned. So we're not doing politics here. Kakko, get back to the comments. Kakko is constantly improving play in the looming cat crunch. Do you think a trade? No, I don't think either of those guys are coming in, Daniel, and I'll tell you why. They got term, and I don't think this team is going to be able to bring in any players with term because of the cap situation going forward, especially next year and the year after. So unless they can move Trouba and some other cap, then I don't see Tarasenko. I don't see Miller. JT Miller left New York because of the fact that he wasn't taking his off-season regimens seriously. So yeah. And David, yes, no COVID talk. And Brody, that's what we do here. We're not politics. There's all sorts of political outlets if you guys want to talk politics. Not here. Hell no. So, Lucas, I definitely agree with that. A middle six winger. You give me Jared McCann, I'm okay with that. I'm more than okay with that. But if they went and they got someone like Joe Pavelski, who I think would be a perfect fit for this team, I would love to. I'd love to see a middle six winger like Jared McCann, but Pavelski I think would just be the perfect fit. And Sean, yeah, no problem, buddy. Thank you for coming on again, and definitely keep watching. Remember, guys, if you can, please like, share, and subscribe. I don't like to bother you guys with that, but again, if you like, share, and subscribe to videos, it helps grow the channel, helps give us more quality content. It would do so much for this channel. We want to make this something big. We want to make this something good and give you guys even more content. So, Chris, hockey, nothing wrong with that. Hockey fans usually like Batman, guitars, and wrestling. Yes, we do. And that's why Club MSG needs to change up their musical selection. You can trade for Miller because you can fit his $5 million in. I don't think they're doing. I really don't think they're doing that. I don't think they're going to go back to the retread route with JT Miller, unless it's really, really cheap. And I'd like to hear this, Dave. Why are you on the fence with Pavelski? Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And Lucas, because hockey fans are smarter than the fans of other sports. We are some smart fans, Lucas. We definitely are. Brody, yeah, we can get Filk to talk gaming. Yeah. I can definitely talk some retro gaming, man. George Callie, welcome to the show. Yeah, Igor and Georgie get the shutout. So that is true. As Tomas points out there. True. Nope, sorry, this is the wrong one. I'm into gaming too and flight simming. I'm not much of a flight sim guy, but I mean, it is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. So, and Daniel, this is a good point. Why would you trade for him? Give up assets only. It doesn't. Yeah, I agree, Daniel. Doesn't make sense there, man. Yeah, but David, there are different types of rentals. Like a Phil Kessel one comes cheap. And you know that, even if you don't re-sign him, you know that, like, okay, hey, you know what? He's just coming in for the playoffs, and that's it. So PK Subban got to chill. He did it again. Who did he salute for this time, Chris? I don't have anything on right now. So thank you, John. Much appreciated. As always, definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much. Guys, again, like, share, and subscribe if you can, please. I don't like to ask of much, but again, the likes help the algorithm. So again, like our videos. Had to go remove the other comment first, but yeah, again, thank you very, very much, John. We appreciate that. Chicago does have some good music, and they always play rock. Pittsburgh and Boston actually usually play some really good music in their games too, from what I've noticed. So, but again, remember, like, share, and subscribe. So, but get going through the other comments. You see, I would, you know what? It's only for this year, Dave. So you're not really looking for him going forward, Pavelski. So he's playing very, very well right now. He's about a point per game. So it's probably going to cost quite a bit to get him if they decide to move him, if Dallas falls out of the race, that is. But we'll see what happens there. I just think he'd be a great fit as someone who plays both center and right wing. So Daniel Miller would cost a King's ransom, Vancouver's top scorer. Yeah, I would say he would. And Lucas, yeah, he would probably be a win now rental. And yeah, and I got to agree with Brody here. John, awesome. Thank you very much, John. We appreciate that here, man. We really do. So, and yes, and Brody's right. We're closing in on 2,000 subscribers. Definitely remember, like I said, remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you can share the videos with everybody, get our name out there, word of mouth. It definitely helps us. And remember, liking the videos is really important because of the fact that, again, like I said before, it helps the videos get noticed. Connor Garland. Are you talking about, did he slew foot him or did, oh no, wait, New Jersey's playing Winnipeg. That's right. Oh, you're talking about Connor Garland as a trade option. Yeah, Connor Garland, he's another one with term though. And he's got about, I would say, what, $5 million or so locked on his for his AAV. So I would love him because I like his game. He's an annoying player and he plays hard. He's tough to play against. He plays hard. He throws his weight around even though he's a small guy. And he really gets in on the forecheck. He would really fit with what Gallant would do. I honestly think that Riley Smith is probably going to be the acquisition because it just makes too much sense. But if Garland didn't have term, like Brody says here, I think he would be a perfect fit too. He checks all the boxes. He can score goals. He can make plays. He creates offense, funny enough. He's not just a complimentary player. He actually creates offense at a better rate than people think. Yeah. Thank you very much, Lucas. For the Igor Groy replacement fund. I'll offer up mine. You can take mine. Even though I am a hockey player, you can take mine. So, yeah, kind of like Pat Verbeek. You're right. I would say a faster, smaller version of Pat Verbeek, John. I loved Verbeek as a Ranger. 40 goals and 80 points in 96 with Messier and Graves on that line. Ugh. I'm not crazy about trading picks and assets for a 7-year-old rental that... Again, Dave, he's a rental. He's a rental. It depends on what the price is. So, but yeah, I would rather see us package Kravtsov and maybe a D prospect for a young. You know what? And this is my other thing. The one thing I've said, and actually Lucas before, I know I've said this to you, but the acquisition is going to be one of two things. One, it's either going to be just a straight up rental, someone that they don't have to give up a lot for, and that's gone at the end of the year, no term, nothing like that beyond this season. And the other thing, number two, is going to be a young, cost-controlled winger. Someone who doesn't cost a lot against the cap, has some potential. Those are the only two things I could see it being at this point. They're not going to take on somebody that has a high contract going forward with a lot of term. They're not even going to take someone who has a sizable contract going on, I don't think, because I just think that there's just too much of a cap situation to worry about for this team. So if Igor needs a kidney, I have an extra. David, I think Lucas might fund you for that kidney, though, David. So I think I'll join in if Igor needed the kidney. Do we re-sign Rooney, or do we see how Barron takes the NHL? Rooney's got a year left on his deal after this, I believe. Or is he a free agent? I think Rooney is. Oh no, Dryden Hunt has a year left on his deal, not Rooney. Sorry guys, I'm getting my bottom six forwards confused here. I will take a look at it again, but I'm pretty sure it's Rooney is the UFA, and yes, Kevin Rooney is a UFA. So 20 going to get retired next 30. I guess you're talking about Chris Kreider, George? I'm not sure, but so I don't want to see this core get disruptive. Chicago, they had to blow their core up after they won, though. So, and David, yeah, Rooney is a UFA, and Barron. I think Barron can step in. I agree. Chris G, I was a big Verbeek fan. I actually liked Verbeek on the CVS line in Hartford with him, Castles, and Jeff Sanderson, Andrew Castles and Jeff Sanderson. They absolutely killed the Rangers when I was really young, when I first started watching hockey for those like 3 years, 92, 93, 94, in that range. They killed the Rangers before Verbeek came to the Rangers. So, but George, I don't know about Chris Kreider's number getting retired, but I mean, let's just hope that he scores at least 35 goals this year first. We'll go from there. Yeah, Leo, not a huge fan of retiring numbers unless they're generational players like Hank. Yeah, I'm with you there, Leo. Definitely with you there. David, Chicago traded away and for Saad a few times to try to keep their run going. Yeah, that's like the Rangers with 94. They tried to keep 94 alive for those next few years afterwards, and it just didn't work out. And then the bottom finally fell out from under them at the end of the decade. It's going to suck, but to fight the cap, we're going to have to be like Tampa. Yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right, Brody. That's exactly what's going to have to happen here. And it's going to be hard. It's a tough thing to do. But it is possible. Look at Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh still is competitive despite being top heavy. Toronto, top heavy, still competitive, and they're even better this year when they replaced a couple of guys. Nuts to think about with Toronto. Next retirement will probably be 23, followed by one of either 24 or 13. I'm hoping all three of those numbers are getting retired. So, oh boy, just saw Eichel taking some laps and looking pretty smooth. Well, if he's back sooner than later, that means the Rangers could possibly get Riley Smith sooner than later. Yeah. But yes, we'll get some space with Hank, Shattenkirk, and Girardi's buyouts coming off the cap in 2 years. So yes, this is actually a great point. So next year, well, I'll go and pull it up. Next year, after next season, that $3.427 million comes off the books. So there's no more Tony DeAngelo buyout. There's no more Dan Girardi buyout, and there's no more Kevin Shattenkirk buyout. Henrik Lundqvist's $1.5 million cap hit is only for this year, and then he's off the books. So doing some quick math. Going to be tight to sign Kakko and Strome, assuming Strome is the long-term 2C. Plus Rooney, Georgiev, Blake, Gauthier feel like we'll need to play some boys on the ELCs. That's how it's going to be, Daniel. That's how it's going to be. Yeah, I mean, not to mention those two, of course. Yeah, the next few years are going to be tough. I don't know if they send Kravtsov there. I don't. I don't think it'll be Kravtsov or Riley Smith. I think it'll be a lesser prospect. Kravtsov, they may try to mend the bridge. And honestly, that would be the best thing for the team is trying to repair that and actually having him play with this team. So Nemeth and Georgiev are also movable. Yeah, this is something I've said too, Lucas. You're not going to continue to pay a 6 defenseman $2.5 million. He's just not worth that. He's not good enough for that. He should have never gotten that contract in the first place. So, and then Georgiev, you know what? Depending on the rest of this season, I don't see him being around. So, but why? I don't think they're going to replace Strome, David. I think they're going to bring him back, and I think they're going to give him around 6 to 6.25 million. I think that's what he's going to end up getting. So, and yeah, we're praying Georgiev plays well while Igor is out to raise that trade value. Yeah, well, that would be great. Lucas, yeah, Lindgren got 3x3. So I'm not worried about Miller's contract either. There's a lot to really ask for him. If he gets 1 to 1.5 million, somewhere in that range, I'd be shocked. If he gets any higher than that, I should say. So, yeah, mending the bridge, playing Kravtsov, increasing trade value. Yeah, you could do that too. Daniel, if a reconciliation isn't possible, Kravtsov needs to be traded for another prospect, not a rental. Yeah, exactly. And that, like they did with Lias Anderson, that's what I think they'll end up doing. They'll either go for a similar prospect, maybe a second-round pick. I would hate that, though, honestly. Not hate that, but I would rather trade him for a prospect that needs a change of scenery with a high ceiling, like a Barrett Hayton or someone like that, take a chance, than on a second-round pick. I get that teams like to make their own picks with their own players. Maybe they don't like Hayton or someone like that. But, yeah. Heard from a source that Strome is looking close to accepting $5.75 for 5 years. That would be a great, great contract if they could get Ryan Strome to that. That would be great. No, I disagree here, Lucas. I think that would be great. You know what you're going to get from Ryan Strome. You're going to get about between 60 to 70 points because he's playing with Artemi Panarin. And he's actually a solid player for that. There's nothing wrong with that. Find me a center that can give you that amount of production that's making less than $6 million. That's not on an entry level or a RFA contract. I'll wait because I've questioned that before to people and no one has given me an answer. Find me I would say a 60+ point second line center that's making $6 million or less. You're just not going to find them. The ones that are not on ELC or RFA contracts. Again. And that's the thing. I've also said this in the past. If you're going to replace Ryan Strome, you have to do it with a significant upgrade, a market upgrade over him. Because you're risking a lot by toying with the chemistry of your team's best player. And those two are good friends. Why would you want to upset your team's best player? I wouldn't. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to go back to some of these other ones, trying to catch up here. Got a little sidetracked. Michael, would you say the Rangers' forecheck has been better recently? Yes, much better. They've been sustaining offensive pressure. They've been getting chances. Earlier on in the year, they were getting hemmed into their own zone, and then they would get out, and then they would go on the rush, and they would score. And they were converting at a very high clip off of those rush chances. That's not sustainable. But that's not happening anymore. They're actually getting sustained offensive zone pressure, and they're beating teams to 50-50 battles, loose puck battles, winning puck races. They're doing all the little things you need to do to sustain offensive zone pressure. So I really do think that they're playing a lot better in that regard. Daniel, I would agree. And Brody, I think he's better than you give him credit for as the second line center. But that last part of your point, you can't put the price on chemistry. You're absolutely right about that. Daniel, I totally agree with this. Lucas, I've highlighted that one before from you. Mike, yeah, Strom's been great with the Rangers. Remember, you got him for Ryan Spooner. Win. Massive win. Leo, thoughts on Brendan Othmann not making it? It's a crime. It's a crime. Zach Dean, Ryan Dverberg, and Ridley Grieg should have never made it over Brendan Othmann. Even there are some others on that roster that I could say that that are questionable over Brendan Othmann. Even Will Cooley. I would rather have Brendan Othmann on there than Will Cooley, even though I'm happy Will Cooley made Team Canada. But I think that has something to do with politics and the fact that Brendan Othmann can make next year's Team Canada roster. So I wanted Strome traded if it was involving Eichel. Yeah, this is my thoughts on it. If you were gonna go trade Ryan Strome, Jack Eichel would have been the guy to go get. He would have been the guy. So, John, Kravtsov for Kupari or Akil Thomas? I would take Kupari. I'm not a big fan of Akil Thomas. I don't see the top end skill in him. I see a good middle six player in Akil Thomas that can show you flashes of some offensive skill. But I think Rasmus Kupari could be a top six center. So, or winger, even if you want to play him there. He's pretty versatile. Glad to see the love for Stroman here. Reason I don't go to social. Yeah. Well, some of those groups are. So I really don't even want to get into those. Those things annoy me. But felt the same about Bushnevich as feel about Strome now. He has, yeah. You know what? If it makes the team better and the team continues to play like this, why break up the chemistry? That's why fix something that's not broken. So. Daniel, have a good night. Cheers, bud. I know some things, and I can't really talk about them, unfortunately. I'm just going to leave it at that. Watch a video on the Eichel apps, and he looks so happy being out of Buffalo. Yeah. I don't blame you one bit. Yeah, what's going on, Jason? Big win tonight for sure. Hoping that Igor is, well, Gallant said Igor is gonna, it's not as bad as it looks, but hoping that Igor will be okay going forward. No lingering effects or anything like that. So hopefully we get to play some puck this weekend, Jason. David, yeah, definitely not a fan of that. Christian Dvorak is not a bad player, but again, he's not a needle mover. Not a needle mover. Hold on to Kravtsov and try to mend the bridge. You're probably better off because I think Kravtsov could be a better player than Dvorak. So, but referencing the Othmann Team Canada snub. Yeah, there's some stuff that it's gone on. I can't really talk about it, but. And not only that, but it's also the fact that Othmann has he has another year of eligibility for Team Canada. And some of the guys that are on this team are not eligible after the season. Like Will Cooley can't play on Team Canada next year. Some of the other guys on the team can't do it. But you would love to have seen Shane Wright and Brendan Othmann play together for Team Canada. Like that would have been so damn cool this year. Because they're really good friends. They have some chemistry going back to pre-major juniors. So definitely Sunday. Yeah. Definitely want to play Sunday. So, but the Devils got smacked around tonight. Winnipeg Winnipeg is going to get better, and that's part of the thing with Pavelski. Somebody came in on the comments when I posted that thread about Pavelski, and they said that didn't Dallas just win however many in a row? Well, if they fall out of it, sure. So Dallas could stay there. They could fall out of it, but you look at Dallas's division. I mean, Winnipeg's going to play better. They're tied with Winnipeg in points. Colorado has one game in hand on Dallas and has one less point. Nashville has one less point than Dallas. That Central is tough division. And Chicago's played better. So, I mean, you can't really count anybody out but Arizona in that division. That's really the only team that you could really beat up on. Hey, Dan. Definitely worried. Still a little worried about Igor. Not as much after seeing the tweet from the Rangers and what Gallant said. So, but yeah. Othman is a polarizing figure and most popular with the high ups of the Team Canada, I'd imagine. But it's I hate when politics and sports mix like that. And I don't know if you guys remember when Bobby Sanguinetti spurned the NCAA for to go to Owen Sound in the OHL and play in the OHL. He got basically blackballed from Team USA's junior roster. So, Mike, we will eventually do one. I got to talk to Mark, and we got to see when that's going to be. I'm sorry. I really am. We wanted to do it, but the game got canceled, unfortunately, with this whole mess with the Islanders and the COVID situation. So, yeah, we will be eventually doing another one. Colorado's also getting key guys back. Yes, they just got Nate McKinnon back the other night, even though they got slapped by Toronto. So, and they will get better. You're right about that, Lucas. Would you trade Duchesne or trade for Duchesne or Johnson? No, because they have term. No, not at all. Wouldn't do it. So, and then here comes Mark. Was supposed to be eyeing last Sunday, eyeing January 6th at Boss Croakers. So yeah. Dallas, the neon jerseys. I don't like those neon jerseys. I think they look like they're supposed to be in the movie Tron, and I don't like them. John, think about this. NHL 2014 draft, the NHL or the Rangers had no first round picks. No, that was 2013. That was 2013. Buchnevich was drafted. Buchnevich and Duclair were drafted in both 2013, John. So we're 15-4-3. Totally agree. We said don't mess with the team. Don't break when it doesn't need fixing. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that, Brody. I blame the winless at home Islanders. Yes, we all blame the Islanders. Thoughts on Team USA's Olympic jerseys? Tomas, if you cut the sleeves off of them, don't they look like soccer jerseys? Because that's what they look like to me. Just terrible jerseys. Any folks going to the Wings game in December? I'm coming in from Cali. You know what? If I end up going to that, Dan, I will definitely let you know in one of these chats. So, on a lighter note, I am excited for Team Finland in the U20s. They have some great skill. Yeah, Lambert is sick. He is sick. And Weiss, if Callie Weissman makes that roster, that'd be great. So, Lucas, the team was supposedly built with the playoffs, with all of the acquisitions. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, Tambellini. Jeez. No worries, John. Just wanted to point that out because, yeah, the 2014 draft, I don't think they really did. I don't really think they got anybody for that 2014 draft now that I think about it. And Finland's jerseys, yeah, they do look good. They look really good. Sweden's looked good, too. They were sharp. I think that whoever does these jerseys, they need to let the fans have more input on them because some of these jerseys are just terrible. New Jersey's jerseys, jersey, sleeve, sock, skate. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Forget the jerseys. Does USA have a chance for gold without Eichel? I mean, their goaltending core is one of the best in the tournament with Hellebuck and Gibson. Like, they're just, oh, man. Those two in goal. And their defense is really good, but you just the forward group just does. It looks a lot worse without Eichel. I'll tell you that. So, sorry, got that yawn in there. I couldn't hold that one back. But Finland and Sweden always have good jerseys, mostly classics. Again, why fix what is not broken? Seems to be the theme of the night, Leo. Why fix what is not broken? And Kunlun Red Star, yeah, the China team that's in there. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff up with them right now. So, but it's interesting. You get the Olympics every 4 years. It's kind of a fun time to watch hockey. It's cold as hell outside here. We don't want to do anything outside anyway, so why the hell not watch some Olympic hockey? But we'll see how things go. I don't think they're going to pull out of it. I think it's a little too late for them at this point. I think they're just too committed and too far in, or in too deep, if you want to reference the Sum 41 song, because I like myself some Sum 41. But yeah, so I think they're in too deep. I don't think they're going to be able to pull out of the Olympics now, unless just a massive wave of COVID just hits everybody. So hopefully that doesn't happen, or another world lockdown again, which would be bad. But looking forward to some Olympic hockey. Definitely looking forward to it. And yeah, this is actually a good one. I like this because this is funny. Now it's kind of like, it reminds me of the Legion of Doom. I used to love watching Eric Lindros, John LeClaire, and Michael Renberg as the Legion of Doom in the 90s when they weren't playing the Rangers. Now you get to tell me that I can watch the Tkachuk brothers on a line agitating the ever-living hell out of Team Canada and a lot of other teams. Sign me up for that. I'll go grab some beers, because that sounds like a great time to me. Yeah, looking through, seeing if any other comments. You can thank Brodeur that he designed those atrocities. Ugh. Their mother is Canadian, so does that mean that one? No, it's where their citizenship is. They were both born in the U.S., but you would have to get citizenship, Canadian citizenship. I don't think they have Canadian citizenship, like what Brett Hull did. Brett Hull was born in Canada, but he went for U.S. citizenship and then ended up playing for the U.S. in all the Olympics. So. Oh yeah, the Uncle Daddy chants. Here they go. Oh, Brodeur. Oh, Brodeur. Ratu. Yeah, Ratu was going to be a steal for somebody. And it's funny because he fell in that draft for his personal problems he was having last year. And it's sad. I would have taken the chance on him if I was Rangers. Hey, Johnny. What's going on? How you feeling? But Ratu could be, he's got some serious talent. He could be a first-line player if everything pans out. He was the consensus #1 overall pick for this past year's draft at one point. Just remember that. So, David, Canada, there was, I think Hull was annoyed at a bunch of things with Team Canada. So that's why I think that he ended up spurning Team Canada for the U.S. But sorry to hear that, Johnny. We hope that you're okay. Hope that you're that setback isn't going to set you too far back. No pun intended there. But glad to hear that you're okay. Good to see you in here. Definitely good to see you in here. So, but let's see what we got here. About an hour and 10 in. Yeah. Oh, probably go for another, say, maybe 15 minutes or so. And so everybody get some more comments in, so we could talk a little more hockey before I hang it up for the night. So, and we're hoping you don't miss. We're definitely hoping you don't miss, Johnny. So, but yes, and Hull did win an international tournament. That 1996 World Cup of Hockey was awesome. If you haven't watched it, find the videos on YouTube. I know you can. I've watched the games on there. Great hockey. Really, really great hockey. Especially the 3-game final between U.S. and Canada. Just so good. Some of my absolute all-time favorite hockey to watch. Maybe I'll throw a question out there. Richter tournament MVP. Yes, he was. He absolutely stood on his head, robbing Vinny Damphus and Eric Lindros blind in the third and deciding game. Leo, I agree with you. Gauthier does need to work a little bit on shooting and finishing. He was a big goal scorer in the AHL, so you got to think it's in him. That was the 1987 World Juniors, I believe, David. I had a lot of nerve damage, and the doctor's saying it takes months for that to heal, but there is a chance it won't. Well, I'm hoping that it does heal for you, Johnny. Really hoping for you, man. Brody, the 94 Stanley Cup, obviously. That whole season was great. Wayne Gretzky coming in, that first Wayne Gretzky year in 96, 97, that was just a really fun time because I thought the Rangers had a real good chance to win it all that year. I thought that if they could have gotten past Philly, I thought they were a better matchup for Detroit than Philly because Philly just didn't have the speed to hang with Detroit. So that was another good one. And Lucas, that power play was nuts. They had so many great players on that Team Canada team. Just that roster's chock full of Hall of Famers, that 96 World Cup. So Graves was on there too. Yeah, Johnny, if you get that 96 World Cup of Hockey on DVD, just definitely get it. Another 15 minutes in Filk terms is 55. No, you know what? The last time the viewer count started popping up, and more people started coming in with more questions and everything, and I was just like, well, how am I going to go away here at this point? Plus, it's a Friday night. Everybody's here. I don't think anybody's really has work tomorrow, so. But, it's a good night. And Brody, yeah, faith in yourself helps too. And definitely praying for you, Johnny. Praying. Oh. Yeah. That one was, that Sweden North America game was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Well, David, it's funny you mentioned that because Wayne Gretzky was actually quoted as saying that if they would have gotten Pavel Bure at the 99 trade deadline, he would have stayed. So that would have been something to watch. Oh, man. Will Ovechkin pass? I think he will. I just think it's a matter of when at this point. I think he's having too good of a year. Unless he absolutely falls off this year, which is not going to happen. It's Alexander friggin' Ovechkin. He's not going to fall off. He's going to. He's going to. It's just a matter of when. USA Russia and MSG. Yep. Unreal. Ugh. Sorry to hear that, man. So sorry to hear that, Johnny. Workers' comp is such a pain in the ass. They really are. My uncle went through it. It's just terrible. They don't want to pay, and they just it hurts. It hurts the people that need the money and need the help, So, no, I haven't because I blocked her. But so. Yeah, if he gets 30 more this year, he's going to be like 105 away. It's crazy. Actually, let me pull up Ovechkin's stats. Now that. So he has 19 goals and 38 points in 24 games. He has 749. If he gets 30 more goals and he gets to 50, that's 779. And that is 115 behind Gretzky's 894. Oh, my God. He just, it's ridiculous. And the worst part about this is, Johnny, is that they a lot of these injuries, they downplay them, and because they don't want to pay. And you know what? I get it. You don't, if you're handing out money to everybody, then where does the money come from? But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And this is the best season he's had since 2010, easily. He's on pace for over 100 points for the first time since 2009, 2010. It really is incredible that a 36-year-old is having this great of a season. He's going to be the oldest player to break the 50-goal mark. And I agree with this, Chris. Nobody deserves to suffer, man. Totally agree. Ovechkin, is looking like he's going to be the Tom Brady of the NHL. I saw this before, but it was from somebody with a Candace Preston. So I'm going to... How do I report? Block. Oh, it's a spam bot. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Ovechkin's capable of scoring 20 goals a year just from the power play. Yeah, I mean, 40 is just... 40 is just... I think he's a lock at this point. Yeah, Chris, she did. Because I said some things on Twitter about Ryan Graves not being a great defenseman and kind of being carried by Cale Makar. And yes, the Devils defenseman. So she commented on Twitter, or I'm sorry, she commented on Twitter. Yeah, I couldn't see it because she was on private on Twitter. So she somehow found my Instagram, which I don't have linked through anything, and DMs me on Instagram. It was ridiculous. Has Buffalo trolled? No, that one hasn't been back here either. But again, that's another one blocked. You want to troll? You want to be a jerk? That's what you get. And John, surprised about the Anaheim Ducks too. I am definitely surprised about that. Troy Terry, what a shock he has been, man. He's like a point per game player. Troy Terry has 25 points in 23 games, including 15 goals. How crazy is that? And that's after last year he had 20 points in 48 games, 15 in 47 the year before that. He was just looking like a nothing type of depth type scorer. He was just wow. 5th round, 148th overall by Anaheim in 2015. And now all of a sudden, the former World Junior Shootout hero is now a point per game player. I mean, he's running with Ryan Getzlaf, which is, good for him. Because Ryan Getzlaf is another one. He's just under a point per game. He's just under an assist per game. He has only 1 goal, but he's got 20 points, Ryan Getzlaf, in 23 games. Trevor Zegras has 17 points in 22 games. Adam Henrique, 16 points in 23 games. You want to talk about a bounce back for Adam Henrique. His best year possibly in a long time, possibly ever. Kevin Shattenkirk has 16 points in 24 games. Sonny Milano has 16 points in 19 games. And he looked like he was on his way to busting. So, yep. That was Ryan Graves' girlfriend. I've shown Dave the hey Kurt, I've shown the commenter my right nut. I've shown him the DMs. It's funny as hell. And yeah, Johnny, I definitely think they make a trade. I think it's going to be a lesser player, like maybe like a Jared McCann. I think perfect. So how is Mark reacting to Kreider mania? Mark is loving it. Mark is loving it. So take care, Lucas. Have a good night, and thank you again. I definitely appreciate it, man. Really do. So, but that was about 10 minutes ago. I said we would do another. Yeah, I'll go until like 11:15. So we'll do about 5 more minutes. I'm gonna definitely cut this off real soon. So, but it just, yeah, Lucas Raymond is just he's incredible, man. For a while he looked like he was supposed to be one of the top picks in the 2020 draft, like one of the top 2 or 3 picks, and he just ended up being incredible. This might actually be the case. I don't know. So you might have to check him with Mark on that. Mark does definitely get very excited when Chris Kreider scores. So that I wouldn't rule that out. But yeah, there's a lot of good players that have come up this year that have really started to break out. It's interesting to watch. Always good to see new talent. Great. And then thanks, Leo. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night. You just got Hurdle leaving MSG. That's pretty cool. Oh, just grab Hurdle leaving MSG. No, I don't think San Jose is going to get rid of him right now. And who thought that the Rangers would be 20 points above the Fish Sticks? Definitely not this guy. Definitely not this guy. But I'm happy about it. I'm happy that they are the way they are. I'm happy that they're playing well. I mean, this game was a solid game for them defensively. It really was. It just, you know what? These are the types of games that sometimes are not as exciting as some of the other games, but you need to play these types of games in the playoffs, and you need to win these games in the playoffs to win. So it just good effort tonight from all the guys up and down the lineup. Like I said, just hoping Igor's injury doesn't really have any type of long-term lingering effect, you know. And you know what, David? I wouldn't even say that Torts' defense was all that great. It was a shot blocking. That was the problem that I had with Torts' defense. Is they were just shot block, no puck possession sustained. So I'm not as sold on Tortorella's defense as I am Gallant's. I know Tortorella has the cup and he has a Jack Adams too, but Gallant's got a Jack Adams, and Gallant's had more success in recent memory in the NHL. I mean, so John, I don't think Colorado moves Tyson Jost. I didn't think Rennie was that great of a coach. I think he was carried by Yager and Lundqvist and Shanahan. So that's just me. And Brody, yeah, you're right. And more surprise teams every year, more surprise players too. Johnny, I hope this is not the case, but I mean, this is the second year in a row that he's had a groin injury, looks like. Kurt, I don't know, but this team is blessed. Yeah, maybe the team is blessed. Maybe they are. I mean, whatever the case is, I like it, man. I like it. I like what I see. Definitely do. So this is just it's everything has just come together so well. Buckler, ugh, Mister, I killed Manny Malhotra's confidence. You know what? I'll address this one, Johnny. I don't agree because if I think he will eventually break out sooner than later. And once he does, if you don't give him the 8 for 8 now, the 8x8 now, what happens if he breaks out into like an 80-point player? And then 2 years later, 3 years later, when that bridge is done, you have to give him 10 to 11 million. You just lost 3 million that you could have saved in AAV by paying him up front. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, we don't speak of John Muckler and Ron Lowe here. Not great coaches. I sat through those dark days too, guys. They were not fun. But that's gonna do it for tonight. I just wanted to get another one in and get some Q&A time with you guys. You guys are awesome as always. Again, thank you to John and thank you to Lucas as well. Again, guys, please, if you can, like the video, share it, subscribe it, tell everybody about it, word of mouth. You know, it would help out the channel so much just by simply liking this video on YouTube and stuff. It helps it helps the algorithms come up. And thank you, Tomas. Likewise, thank you very much. Thank you, Brody. Love all you guys coming in here and hanging out with me after the games. I love doing these. So, and John, you too. Thank you very much. Take care. But I will do one after. Actually, tomorrow night I will not be doing one tomorrow night because I will be at the game tomorrow night. So I will try to do probably Sunday night, maybe Sunday evening. I'll do one of these. So if you guys are all available Sunday night, I'll try to do one Sunday night, and we'll go over it then. So because like I said, I'm gonna be at the game tomorrow, so I will not be near I will not be near my laptop and ready to do this right after the game. So again, thank you. Or maybe not. I don't drink too much anymore, David, but especially when with the weight loss and everything like that, I try not to drink as much, but definitely like to get a few drinks in. So you guys all have a great night. Had fun doing this. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's go Rangers. Thank you very much. And you all have a great night.